What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MGL 2v2 Armajet Open, powered by Mogul. I am your host and caster, Sean Ostino, and I'm joined here by my awesome good buddy, Imperium. And today, we're making history, Imperium.
Why is that, Sean?
That's a really good question, Impy. Well, I'll tell you what. It's because it's the first Fuel Frenzy tournament in Armajet history. This is huge. This is going to be fun. This is going to be top-notch action here. We've got tons of teams signed up. The way the tournament's working today, it's a winner-take-all $50 USD prize for the winners. It's a 2v2 tournament because, Fuel Frenzy is just too crazy to have 4 people in it on each team. But this is going to be great. This is going to be fun. I'm super stoked. How you feeling about the tournament?
I'm actually, in fairness, outside of oh my god, can I get some hype in the chat? Outside of that, I love the fact that Armajet are growing in terms of game modes. It helps keep the game fresh. It's still sticking to that beautiful Armajet base of graphics and gameplay and that absolute kind of balls to the wall playing, but having a new game mode means it gives a player another option and it gives a player a different form of entertainment within the Armajet game. So I'm really excited to be casting this with you. I'm very honored, to be honest, and we do have some fantastic, well-known, talented players that are going to be playing in this tournament, Sean.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've got a bunch of people in here. Let me go ahead and get into the game real quick. I know we have the code available already.
Apparently, it's set to. Apparently, it was set to needing to be invited. So
okay, I think. Oh, I see now.
Man.
Yeah, we have a new code that's actually in chat. So go ahead and you can check that out, and we can both get invited, or invite ourselves rather. And I'm so thankful for our team in production. It's legit, Mike. Really appreciate you being back there, good sir.
Yeah, shout out to himself indeed. And also shout out to MGL for even giving us the chance to put this on. Shout out to Armajet themselves for supporting this kind of community tournament and all the players that have, of course, applied, and to everybody that is even currently viewing the stream without even getting into a game, Sean.
Shout out to Mogul as well for powering this tournament.
Yes.
Yep, and providing us with the awesome bracket system and just to be able to run the tournament and make it so much easier for all of us to be able to have this 2v2 Fuel Frenzy history in the making right here. This is really cool stuff.
Oh, why don't we talk about the two teams that are playing right now in this first game? If I am correct, based on my own knowledge, it is below average against Tapu Sina. If I'm correct, Sean?
I'm actually trying to bring up the participants right now. Did you say, is that one of the teams below average? We have so many new teams here. Okay, below average below average IQ. Okay, we got Trumpkin and Yobot on below average IQ. They're on Team Bravo. And then we have Laxia and Sarthak, which I don't know. Do you know what team they're on?
Tapu Sina.
Tapu Sina, the Indian team. We've got a couple of Indian teams here, which is actually pretty cool to see. Yeah, Lucky and Sarthak's.
So we do see this game has already started, Sean.
Is it already
5-0 from what I'm seeing.
Wow, that we just started. I'm so surprised. Let's go ahead and move into the game right now.
Okay, so Sean, we are into this game. It is 6-0 right now to Tapu Sina, if I am correct. No, sorry, not Tapu Sina, my apologies. It is 6-0 to below average IQ humans. Even though they're below average, I tell you what, they are definitely above average when it comes to Fuel Frenzy on Armajet, Sean Ostino. Yeah. Now, while this game is getting underway, give us a quick explanation of how Fuel Frenzy works as a game mode.
Well, we've already got what the objective is. You've got to hold 10 fuel cells, and once you have those 10 fuel cells, you're actually getting the countdown. You get 15 seconds to continue holding them. Once you do hold them for that amount of time, then you win the game.
Well, right now we do see below average IQ humans held those 10 cells for 15 seconds. They do get this game win, and they will move on to the next round where they will face First Squadron on a side note. But that is unfortunate for Tapusina. It is a best-of-1 series in these qualification rounds, in these kind of all these rounds except for the grand final. Sean Asino, so well played to below-average IQ humans.
Yeah, well played to them. They got themselves a very easy, quick win, actually. With 0 deaths on their part, they were able to just annihilate the other team and prevent them from holding any of those fuel cells. They held on to them the whole time, and kudos to them, you know. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we just saw. So we're actually gonna check out the matches. We did have the first match. We don't have anything up yet. Actually, let's look at the brackets. So we've got the first squadron, one of the teams that's going to be on there, Canadian team. We've got we've got below average and Tapusina, who we just saw play. So we're going to see below average, who had a bye. First Squadron had a bye. So below average is going to be going up against First Squadron coming up later on today. And Casual Dev Hacks getting a bye as well. The Protect getting a bye. And it looks like Casual Dev Hacks and the Protect will be going up against each other. We're looking at just the top half of the bracket right now. There's a lot more if you guys want to go ahead and look at it. If you guys want to go over to the Mogul website, actually, you can see the full bracket at the top of the event page on Mogul, and that's found on the MGL Discord server. So be sure to check that out, you guys, to see the entire bracket and all the teams that are playing today. Let's see if we have another invite. Don't have another invite yet.
We are waiting for sure to get this game ready up. Before that, I want to talk about what is most likely, in my opinion, the best team name we have in this tournament, Sean Astino. That is the team of Alluring Grandmothers. Absolutely fantastic. Like, you know,
so good. It's so good. I love it.
It's so good. Like, I can't even begin to, like, I'm gonna try and say it seriously when I cast it, because out of respect. But my lord, right now,
out of respect for the grandmothers.
Yeah, of course. But what's even hilarious is on the mogul.gg page of their team, which is greatly detailed, they have a picture of a grandma as their profile picture for the team. I don't know where they got that picture from. If it is one of the members' grandmas, that's a beautiful looking grandma right there.
She's a silver fox, I'll tell you that. I really like what I see.
She's a very alluring grandmother, I tell you that much, Sean.
Let's talk about who's on the team. Archer UK and Big King L are on the team. Big King L's the owner.
Yes.
These are both players that we've seen a lot in the Armajet community in many of the tournaments. I remember when you and I cast a tournament, I think it was in December. Was it in December or January? Jeez. It's been so long.
It feels like it's been so long, but it was one of the best tournaments I did cast with, in fairness.
Yeah, and Big King L was one of the stars in that tournament, and so was Archer UK. We haven't seen them playing necessarily very much. Big King L was previously on Hammers. I forget. I feel like Archer was on GGEZ. It's been a while since I've seen him play. But either way, these are guys who are in the top 100 of Armajet over and over again. And they're someone to be watched out for the Alluring Grandmothers.
Man, I'm telling you, I would not want to go up against those guys. Not only for the team name, but just for the talent and the ability that is on that team, because we do know that Archer UK and Big King L, like you pointed out, they are very talented players and they've been playing the game for a long time. That's the most important thing. But either way, this next game, if I'm correct, is going to be L Beard against Pinky Panthers.
I am getting into the game right now. It looks like we're readying up. Do we have everybody in the game? Yeah, it looks like we do have everybody in the game.
Yes.
So we're moving in. Let's go ahead and switch on over and see how the game looks, guys.
So on the side of El Beard, it is El Toro Darkness, one fantastic streamer within the Armajet community and within the general streaming community, and Thy Beard 89, another fantastic member. I've never heard of him, fairness, but I'm sure if he's teaming up with El Toro Darkness, Sean, he's bound to be pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, El Toro Darkness is one of those streamers for Armajet who's always out there on Twitch. He's always streaming the game. He's pretty much made a name for himself and become popular as an
has.
Armajet streamer. He's doing a little, he's changing it up and providing a little more variety on his channel these days. But I used to play against him very often, and that guy is usually within the top, I think the top 20 or the top 30 in Armajet. So he's pretty deadly, dude.
He is a deadly dude.
Yeah, while they're getting started still, we'll go ahead and switch back over to us here at the desk. And yeah, but I want to talk about maybe some of the loadouts that they might be having here.
Yes, Sean.
So, well, other than that, let's talk about the map. So we're going to be on Moon this time. And the way the tournament's working, you guys, is that there's only 3 maps that can be that can have Fuel Frenzy played on it, and those are Moon, Magma, and Canyon. We just saw the Canyon map played, and the way the teams choose it is that they each ban a map, and the remaining map is the map that we play on. So we ended up playing on Moonbase here. Moonbase is actually a map that's it's a little bit tighter. Even though it seems like it's kind of long, it's not as long as Canyon, it's not as long as Magma, and it's a little bit tighter, it's a little bit more open in the middle area as opposed to the other maps, which have a lot more platforms and a lot more coverage.
Yeah, exactly. So I love what these different maps bring to the table, even on a game like a Fuel Frenzy. Of course, when we look at these maps in terms of even on the normal Armajet game mode, the likes of the double damage and the invisibility do spawn generally on the middle of the map. So these players will generally be used to kind of targeting the middle of the map to capture those abilities. Now, we don't have them in this Fuel Frenzy mode, but with that fuel cell spawn area being in the middle of the map, the players would at least be familiar with that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's the big difference between Fuel Frenzy mode and here is that with the fuel, there's no power-ups, right? So we're going to be seeing these players just fighting it out, going to grab those fuel cells. That's the primary objective here, not using the power-ups and controlling the power-ups in the center of the map.
Prepare to fight.
We are preparing to fight, everybody. It is El Toro Darkness,
3,
and Thy Beard.
1.
El Beard going up against Sahabi and Dishu right now. Let's see what they can do about this.
Yeah, Pinky Panthers, this Indian team, looking to make a big impact and actually cause a bit of an upset, Sean.
Yeah, if they can do that, that would be great. Thy Beard is also one of those players who I've seen a lot playing Armajet, and this guy is someone to be feared. He's got that thunderstorm already. El Toro Darkness had himself a bit of a spree, but Thy Beard loses all of his fuel cells.
Yes. See, Sean, that's the thing with these fuel cells. If you die and you have 4, 5, 6 fuel cells on your body, they're going out there, and any of the enemy team can pick these up, and we're seeing a big swift in change because we're going suddenly over to 7 cells on the side of El Beard right now because Dishu got taken down.
Yep, and El Toro Darkness is on a killing spree now. He's got himself 6 cells, 7 cells, and he's got his machine gun drone running around the map, looking to see if it can take anybody down.
Right now, we do see El Beard trying to be in the front line to protect any kind of damage being hit onto El Toro Darkness. And now with the countdown timer ticking away, 10 seconds until we will see El Beard taking this. It's got to be up to El Toro to protect himself very effectively. Can Pinky Panther get in? 3, 2, 1. That's not going to be the case.
They lost it.
My apologies.
Yep, they lost it. And now we do see El Beard controlling the fuel cells once again, but they lost it for a quick second.
God.
And that's all it takes in this map. Throws down that Widow Blade. Dishu gets taken out, coming up against Thy Beard.
2, 1.
Oh, fantastic. I thought that game was going to be over. That's how quickly it can change as swift of a button, but just like that, El Beard take it on. They will move on to the next round, and unfortunately, Pinky Panthers will have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, they will. That's really unfortunate for them. And the way this is set up, I think we explained it earlier, guys, but it's a best of 1 here. So as soon as you win, you're moving on. If you lose, you're out of the tournament. The only people that are going to be moving on is anyone who's up there in the semifinals playing a 3rd place match later. But for right now, it's seemingly as soon as you're eliminated, you're gone from the tournament at these early stages, these early matches right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the matches to see if we have anything updated at the. No, we don't have any. Let's go ahead and look at the brackets. Don't seem to have. Okay, do we have anything? We still don't have anything quite updated yet there. So go ahead and just continue to talk about who we got. So who do we got? Do we got a schedule right now? Who do we got coming up next?
We have got, well, it would be Rampage against somebody else, but they've gotten a bye to the next round on the side now, Sean. However, the next two teams that we are going to see facing up against each other, it is the team of French Frenzies, this Belgian team made up of Doomslayer and Duck. And going up against them, it is going to be the team of Unstoppable. They are an Indian team. They are made up of two team members that are Maitreya and Praditya. I do hope I'm saying that right. So we know Doomsayer. He's a fantastic member of the Armajet community. But even, I believe, Doomsayer puts out videos on Armajet. He's very knowledgeable in the game. So he's going to be somebody to really want to shut down, right?
Oh yeah, Doomslayer is one of those deadly members. He knows a lot about the game. Watch out for that guy for sure. We've got Maitreya in there too. I think I've seen Maitreya a bit in the lobbies playing the game here and there. Not so much Fuel Frenzy, but Fuel Frenzy is one of those game modes that's very new, everybody, and it's only been out for a couple of weeks now. So I've even spectated some lobbies, like some of the top teams, and it's been actually pretty it's something that a lot of teams are still figuring out in how to master Fuel Frenzy, because it's such a different game mode compared to Deathmatch. Deathmatch, you want to actively get out there and hunt people down, get those kills, get those killing sprees. You don't necessarily want to get killing sprees here in Fuel Frenzy.
Well, yeah, from my eyes, because you do see similar game modes in other games, but with Fuel Frenzy on this Armajet game, it requires a lot more strategy, Sean. So instead of the normal game mode where you kind of go in for a kill, it might not be as impactful to get taken down yourself, especially if it's 4v4 situation. But on Fuel Frenzy, yes, you can hold on to 3, 4, 5 fuel cells, but like we saw, you get taken out, those fuel cells become free reign for anybody else on the map. It could be your teammate, it could be the enemy team. Of course, you don't want to lose those. So if you have 7, 8, 9 fuel cells, you do not want to be aggressive. You want to work with your teammate to make sure that you are being protected, whether it's he's the front line or whether you're just heavily in the back line, hiding underneath those peaks and troughs. So that's how different Fuel Frenzy is compared to the main Armajet game mode.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've got this is Unstoppable, by I believe we were just talking about, right? Who's going up against, what was this other team on Alpha?
French Frenzies.
French Frenzies, Doomslayer and Duck.
By the way, on a side note, I do have a bit of a complaint about El Beard, because as far as I know, El Toro Darkness does not have a beard, and I don't know. You know, he's pretty clean shaven. He has a bit of a baby face, and as somebody who loves my facial hair, I don't know, but I am also aware that is literally just the L from El Toro Darkness and Guy Beard together. So, you know what? I'll let it go for now. Sean.
Well, I'll tell you what, these guys are not letting the fuel cells go. Oh, they just did! French Frenzies just got annihilated. Duck dropped all the fuel cells there in the middle platform. Doom going pretty low himself, but Duck he's providing cover for Duck to go ahead and grab up those fuel cells. Very smart move.
Yes, let's see what they can do to respond. If Unstoppable can do something, but no, they're being taken out step by step. It is essentially a 2v1 situation, if I'm correct. Sean, that's the unfortunate thing. So I don't know if there's a bit of a mistake or if... No,
Reyna's back. There he goes.
Yeah, he is. So now it's going to be a 2v2 situation, but it's 8-0. Oh, he's being taken out.
It's a good frag grenade.
Oh, but in fairness, Doomsayer responded by picking them all up, Sean Ostino, and now the blue team is on the countdown, 15 seconds, but can they protect themselves?
Oh.
The ult has been laid down by Doomsayer, Sean.
Yeah, they've got 2 sentries down. Very smart defensive move there. And that's exactly what you want to do. When you have the fuel cells, you've got the countdown, defend.
Perfect.
Round
Perfect.
over.
Great play coming out from French Frenzies. They did nearly lose all of their cells, but you got to give credit to them as a team. They responded well, unstoppable. They were having a couple of issues in terms of loading back into the game on one of their players, but they got there. They did their best, but they will go home empty-handed.
Yep, very unfortunate for Unstoppable there. They did get stopped, so I feel like they met an unstoppable force so far in Doomslayer and Duck. Even though we did see a couple of deaths for each Doomslayer and Duck, I feel like both of them had excellent control of the objectives. They were able to just put down...
Exactly.
They put down those sentries so quickly at the end. They saved up their ultimates, and that's exactly what you need to do. You need to be very defensive in this gameplay, and therefore you've got to have different loadouts than you would normally have in Deathmatch.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's just that strategy, that level of thinking is a lot higher in Fuel Frenzy, because you might go, yeah, okay, it's only a couple of cells, but man, when you die and you lose those cells, that can be pretty harsh. It can be. It's like dropping an ice cream that's just been handed to you. It's devastating. And it's hard to recover from that sometimes. So when you do recover and you pick those cells back up, it's very, very effective. However, Sean, we are going to be moving on to round 2 of these games. It is going to be first Squadron, the Canadian team made up of the players.
Are we in? You mean the third round? Third matches? I think it's the third match of the day, right?
No, but it's just called round 2.
Oh, is it called round 2?
Yeah, that's it. It's just called round 2. That's I'm just going by the Mogul website, the fantastic mogul.gg website. Yeah, it is going to be first Squadron, the team of Elsif and Devoted, going up against the winners that were below average IQ humans. It's going to
Those guys,
Pumpkin and Yobot.
That's such a good name. I just love it. Oh my goodness. Below average in first Squadron. Yeah. Let's see if we can get our code, get into the match. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we're sorry we haven't updated the matches yet. We are still waiting on that. The brackets are good though. Let's see before we get into the game if we can go ahead and talk about these players here for both of these teams. Let's look at first. Are you looking at first Squadron right now?
Yeah, like we know Elsif and we know Devoted. Two
yeah.
fantastic members of the Armajet community. 2 great players. Elsif especially has dedicated a good to 3 years in Armajet, helping and growing the game fantastically. An amazing human being. Full credit goes out to him. And then of course Devoted is a fantastic player. So these are 2 players that we do know, and they are very skilled, Sean.
They are both members of Hammers as well. And these are guys who are pretty much I'm not sure about Devoted, but I'm pretty sure I know Elsif is in the EU. He is. He's one of those guys that has been fostering the growth of Hammers and Armajet esports in EU.
Yeah, he's been a big impact. I've seen it with the City Jet event that he organized, that he was a big part of. He's like, I've just stood back because I'm not heavily involved in the Armajet community, but I've stood back. I've seen what he's done personally, and it's just really has blown me away. But that doesn't mean you're automatically going to be the best in the game, right, Sean?
Not necessarily. Yeah, and actually, I was watching some of the scrims that they were doing there for for Hammers, and I was in the game. I was participating with them. Let me just say, these guys they have their strategies down. They're still figuring out their strategies, but for me being such a pleb that can barely dip his toe in the top 100 of Armajet, they were schooling me when it came to Fuel Frenzy, because I feel like every time I was on somebody's team, I was the heavy dude and breaking their backs.
Oof.
I need more practice on Fuel Frenzy.
Don't put yourself down so much, man. Don't put yourself down.
You know what I need better loadouts, actually. So some of these top players,
Wait,
If
wait,
they-
wait, whoa.
Yes, yes.
Doesn't a bad mechanic blame their tools? You know, like, does a bad, like,
That's a good
like,
one.
no, but on a serious note, Sean, like, talk about, so what do the different loadouts do impactfully to your game? You know, from a genuine point of view.
I feel like they can. They can have an
Okay.
impact, and this is how. Well, of course, as a beginning player, anybody who starts in the game in Armajet starts playing Fuel Frenzy right away, you're actually going to have a pretty big advantage with the Black Tusk. The Black Tusk has got really solid damage output. It's got a lot of damage per shot and really good damage per second. However, when you do get grinding into the game and you get higher level weapons, you from unlocking bounties, you can have the Havoc, you can have the Nightfall. These are weapons that allow you to have very defensive control of your area. You can get the Thunderstorm got a little bit of a nerf. It's not necessarily the best anymore, but we saw it used today to good effect by some of the teams. So
yeah, exactly.
The Wildfire as well. The Wildfire can be good zone control if you have your ultimates unlocked. We have the machine gun drone. We have the machine gun sentries that you can put down and guard certain areas of the map and provide excellent defense if you've got all the fuel cells.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's why there's so much more strategy to Fuel Frenzy. I'm loving it as a game mode. I've played it quite a few times, in fairness, over the last couple of days. You know, and it is a little bit addictive because as somebody who isn't as mechanically talented, if that makes sense, when it comes to games, Sean Astino, like, I'm a little bit like you. I'm a bit of a pleb. But a game mode that, like Fuel Frenzy, that requires a bit more strategy, I can collect the fuel cells and then, let's say, go back in the back line. I can be that kind of player for a team, if that makes sense. So it just means that there's a lot more of a dynamic to a team, and strategy is so much more important. So I really, really love it.
Yeah, you can provide support. We saw earlier in the last match, actually, one team member was actually providing a lot of body blocking for the other team member.
Exactly.
And that's excellent when you're not necessarily the strongest player. If you're able to absorb the damage and absorb the shots from the enemy team to allow who's ever holding the fuel cells to be able to back off and keep themselves safe while that countdown timer is going down, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I could also be that kind of person that can be the body blocker. You know, in other games I play a support based role, and that could be the same thing with Fuel Frenzy. So it's really interesting. But we are just waiting on a couple of members. We are about to be going into this game. But let's talk about this team that we did see in the first round, Sean Astino, which is below average IQ humans. How do you think they're going to go up against this experienced team of LCF and Devoted?
I think it's going to be difficult for them, to be honest. I've seen Yobot play here and there. He's the team owner for below average IQ. I feel like he's not necessarily... It's difficult to say, you know, like you really don't want to say anything until you get into the game and see the performance happen. But I feel like we haven't seen him in previous tournaments. We've seen Elsif and Devoted over and over again, and those guys are very, very scary. So if I'm gonna put my money on anybody, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be Elsif and Devoted.
Okay, so maybe below average IQ humans, other than the fact that we've seen them in the last game, maybe they are unknown quantities. So because First Squadron don't necessarily know much about them, maybe they do, maybe they don't. They could be a bit of a surprise factor for them, you know?
It could be. Could be. You're absolutely right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the brackets. We do have First Squadron, yes, going up against below average IQ. After that, it looks like we'll be having casual dev hacks. I'm excited about seeing that match because that actually has that's actually got Armajet's account on there, so that's going to be very, very cool. We've got the Project, Alluring Grandmothers, and El Beard. They're going to be going up against
Alluring Grandmothers.
Oh,
woo!
Yeah, Grandma, get that Facebook. Hit on my friends. Rampage and French Frenzies we will be seeing them form a little bit later on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all of those future game, Sean. A lot of Fuel Frenzy action to get underway. We are just waiting for the final 2 members of
We are
this.
in.
We're actually
We're into the game. Yep, we're into the game, dude. Are you in?
3,
I
2,
accidentally
1.
what?
Are you in? See if you can join and get into the game. I think you should be able to watch it, but we are in, and it is below average IQ going up against First Squadron, and already we've got Elsif holding 3 fuel cells here. Trumpkin got himself annihilated. Elsif's on a bit of a killing spree. Fragmentation grenade goes down. Jetpack death on the Yobot right there. Devoted's got himself a couple of fuel cells too, and the Havoc blasting away at fools in the mid lane. The AoE damage control is just so good. Yobot just got trapped and pincered.
I do love the fact that Elsie flanked around and got that kill from behind, Sean. Shows that he knows this map. He knows how to perform in this area. They are currently 7 cells to 0 right now against below average IQ
Elsif
humans.
drops all of his fuel cells. They're picked up by Devoted. He's got 9 now. So if they want to put all their eggs in one basket, Devoted's the way to go. Countdown has started.
Yeah, Traumatic from behind, trying to get that kill. The fuel cells have been dropped, and it's gone back over to below average IQ human. They are in the final zone. Oh no! He's just been wiped out, and now straight away First Squadron get those 10 cells.
It is a complete upset. Switching back and forth over and over again. That's what Fuel Frenzy is, man. You can drop everything and it's all over for you.
1. Round.
But I'll tell you,
Man,
I'll tell you
that was
who.
close.
That was really close. I'll tell you who it's all over for. It's all over for below average IQ. Because
Feels bad, man.
feels bad for them, man. But it's still, they put up a good fight at the end, and I give them credit because they were on the countdown with First Squadron, and First Squadron lost it. They lost all their fuel cells, and they gave it up.
Oh yeah, it was really great job. Coming out from below average IQ humans, because in fairness, when they did pick up all the 10 cells, unfortunately, where First Squadron did respawn, they were able to essentially double team the player that had the 10 fuel cells. So that was just a slight unfortunate situation for them, but they got that knockdown. They were able to pick up those cells, and they did the best job they could. At the end of the day, LC and Devoted, they are really experienced players in the Armajet game, so it was always going to be an uphill battle.
They're so good, and it's really clear that having their experience, their knowledge of the maps, the practice they've been putting in on their scrims playing Fuel Frenzy, it really panned out for them. They even probably thought I was too heavy during the games, and they were like, okay, GG's, we're out of here. And I bet you they were still playing afterwards. They abandoned me. But the Havoc shots we saw, they were so OP. The lane control that you can have with those is just astronomical.
And it was just, I particularly loved the positioning from Elsif around that map. I talked about it when he flanked around and got that kill from behind. That just shows that he knows that map inside out. He knows exactly how to position himself effectively. They didn't see it coming, and at the end of the day, all of that just really helped them secure that game overall for Squadron. They'll move on to the next round, but we have another game coming up soon enough. Sean Ostino, it is going to be the project. Casual Death Hacks, which is the team of Lucas and Armajet, against the project, which is Hunk the Punk and Inspiral.
Inspiral, yes. That's
Inspiral.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
Exactly, you got it, man.
Yeah, these are players we've saw. Obviously, we haven't seen Armajet himself play too often, right? AKA Kima, but he's still he's one of those OP players. He plays the game all the time. He's a dev.
Boosted.
Boosted. Love the guy though. But in Spiral and Hunk the Punk, I believe they were on. Were they on? I can't recall the team name, but we did see them in the previous tournament that I cast. So let's go ahead and see if we can grab ourselves that code, get ourselves into the game, and we'll continue to talk while the players are getting ready.
In fairness, I'm not too familiar with Inspiral or Inspiral, or I'm just going to call him Jimmy for God's sake. I'm not too familiar with himself, but I am familiar with Hunk the Punk, and I've seen him play some pretty fantastic games of Armajet, I'll tell you that much. However, when you're going up against a team like Casual Death Hacks that has a huge amount of experience, plus essentially the owner of Armajet, come on, like that's going to be a big uphill battle for the project.
It's going to be really tough for the project. I agree with you there. That's for sure. We're waiting for Hunk the Punk to get in, Inspiral's teammate. Lucas and Armajet aren't into the game right now, but we're actually going to be on Moon. So this is a cool map. You know, it's the map we talked about that's very tight. No power ups here. It's very tight because it's not a very long map, but it's very open in the middle. So you can be susceptible to being shot up especially from the top lane when you're grabbing the fuel cells in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. So we are waiting. On a side note, I do want to give a shout out to the absolutely amazing, the fantastic, the wonderful humanist who is in chat watching us do our thing. Woo! So big shout out to you. Woo!
Go humanist!
Fanboying, go humanist. Woo! Just want to do that. But anyway, we are waiting for these players to log in, to sign in, to get into the lobby as they will ready themselves up to get into another epic match of Armajet. Fuel Frenzy in particular, this is the very first Fuel Frenzy tournament, Sean Ostino. No one has ever had the balls to put on the Fuel Frenzy tournament until now. I think that's pretty awesome.
No one has had the cojones, the fuel cells, to be able to put it on. Now we've got the fuel cells. Now we've got the matches. We're doing it here on MGL, powered by Mogul. So thanks to everybody for putting up this great show and for having two casters of such acclaim as you and me to be here. And it's always fun to cast for the Imperium.
Man, it always feels good when my head gets a little bit bigger from that ego based compliment.
You have two. You have two heads now.
I'm not even going to comment on that, Kappa.
It's your tattoo that I'm referring to, Broseph.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Friends, yeah, my new tattoo. Check me out on Twitter to hit me up with a follow, so you can check that out, Kappa. And what? Self-promotion?
It's okay. It's easy to do that. It's like, who doesn't want to look at Imperium's social media posts? That guy's over there. You're living the life, dude. The caster life in Ukraine right now. So kudos to you, man.
Of course. Hey, look, you got to get the job done. You got to get the work done. You got to put it in, just like these 4 players that are going to be facing up in this game. I believe Hunk the Punk is soon to be joining. We are waiting for him out of the project. But these, of course, Casual Death Hacks, the team of Lucas and Armajet. It really is, like I said, it is going to be a huge uphill battle for the project. But we've seen upsets before, Sean Ostino, and I love a bit of an upset myself, so I'm all for supporting the project.
Yeah, I'm for supporting them too. I like underdog stories, and if anybody's going to be pulling out the win in an underdog situation, it's definitely going to be the project, Hunk the Punk and Inspiral. We saw, I think, what was really difficult for Hunk the Punk before was he was sick during the previous Armajet tournament, and he wasn't able to play the first weekend. They did make it to the second weekend, but I feel like the points could have potentially changed during like the group stages. So Hunk the Punk, he's one of those well-known players who could make an impact. He's a bit of a wild card, and I want to see how well he's going to perform here.
I don't know, man. You'd want to be pretty sick to step away from a game of Armajet. So I don't know. I'm now questioning whether Hunk the Punk has it in him to carry this team past the likes of Casual Death Hacks. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He isn't loading into a game right now. Maybe he's inconvenient or conveniently sick right now. Who knows? Of course, I do joke. Apparently, he is suffering from a bit of a tech issue trying to log into the game. So we are just going to stall things a little bit. Talk about this game a little bit more. Or we have been informed that we are actually going to move on to the next match, Sean Astino.
Yep.
We are going to skip this match for now. These players will face up against each other sooner rather than later, but we are going to go on to this next match, which is going to be the side of Alluring Grandma.
Alluring Grandmothers.
Alluring Grandmothers. Honestly, like, I just get all hot and sweaty thinking about that team name, to be honest. But they are going up against the side of El Beard, which is El Toro Darkness, and Thy Beard 89. They did beat up the side of Pinky Panthers to reach this stage, but they are going up against this team. Alluring Grandmothers, Archer UK, and Big King L. We talked about how good these players are. Who do you think is going to come out on top, Sean?
To be honest, I really feel like it's going to be the Alluring Grandmother. And based on the players who are there on the team, based on the experience I know they have in professional tournaments, these guys are the ones to look out for. I am joining the game right now. The code is available to us, Imperium.
I know. I'm joining.
Very cool.
Just chill your boots, sir. Like, God.
Just cool your rockets, bro. Throw some of that coolant on there.
So how about some fuel cell coolant, or is fuel cell hot?
I think fuel cell ignites the rockets.
Oh Jesus! Oh God! Don't pour that on it, please. But yeah. So based on your eyes and based on what you've seen, Sean Astino, El Beard is going to have a bit of an uphill battle. What do you think they kind of have to do to get the better of Alluring Grandmothers? How should they approach this game? What kind of strategy, give or take, do you think they should look to pull out?
Well, I'll tell you what, but they've just got to be able to control the center, control the fuel cells, watch out for Alluring Grandmothers, because these guys have got themselves rainbow jetpack trails, and Archer is already controlling 2 of the fuel cells.
However...
Oh, go ahead.
No, in credit, El Beard do have 1 fuel cell, so they're not stopping themselves from getting a couple of cells when they can, but they have now lost it. However, the fuel cells that had been picked up by Alluring Grandmothers have been left out. However, it's now being picked up by themselves, so it is up to 5-1. They are responding. We did see Thy Beard get taken out. However, El Toro Darkness managing to survive, but the cells that have been picked up by El Toro Darkness have been dropped. Come on, Thy Beard, pick it up. No, they've lost it.
Yeah, they did. He was so forced to go into a bad situation there. Go to the fuel cells or kill who was in front of him. And he couldn't decide. He hesitated. He got taken out very quickly.
Oh!
8 fuel cells dropped!
Oh, but 7 got picked up by Archer.
Yep, he's got
Thy Beard getting taken out.
Yep, Archer got himself that kill with the Typhoon there. Big King L got himself a Black Tusk in the top lane. They trade out in mid. Fuel cells are all dropped in bot, and El Toro Darkness picks them up. He's got 10 for himself, rotating away.
Oh, he managed to just get out of that engagement from Archer, but DCP King L coming out from behind, trying to take out El Toro Darkness. He did wipe him out, but Thy Beard from behind, wiping out also Archer. But now Archer takes out Thy Beard. They've been picked up by Archer. Archer trying to get away by the skin of his teeth with those 10 fuel cells. Countdown is begun. We are down to 5 seconds until this game will be taken by Alluring Grandmothers.
3, 2,
Yep.
1. Round over.
And there she goes. The stars have it in them for Alluring Grandmothers. They got themselves the W right there.
They got themselves a W, but not without a good bit of pushing coming out from El Beard, particularly Thy Beard himself. That wipeout onto I believe it was Archer UK that had those 10 fuel cells. Maybe it was Big King L, but either way, taking out the member, picking up those fuel cells. El Toro Darkness was trying his best to get away, but it was, I believe, Big King L from above went in there and took him out. So it was very close, Sean.
Yeah, it was a super close match, and we did see Alluring Grandmothers control the fuel cells a lot, or the majority of the fuel cells right at the beginning of the game. But once it actually got to I guess you could say mid-game, that when we had so many fuel cells out everywhere, that's where they started to separate more, and there was more pressure. I feel like there's a lot of psychological pressure on these players when it comes to holding more fuel cells, because if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, all your cells on one pilot, then you have a lot of temptation from the enemy players to just straight up rush you and go after you. You've got to play a very defensive game. I feel like I didn't see. Did you see any machine gun drones or sentries put down? I feel like they.
No, I didn't.
We didn't see any ultimates used during this particular match.
Because it was surprisingly close, Sean and Stina. Like I said, give credit to El Beard. They did as much as they could. They did stick together generally quite well as a team. But I think the synergy that Alluring Grandmothers had overall helped pay off with that win. There's a slight bit better protection as a team on each other, other than that one time they lost all the fuel cells. So if Elbear can just, if they do stick together as a team, if they can work on that synergy a bit more, then I definitely think that will pay off big time in the future. But Sean, we have another game up ahead in this round 2.
Yeah,
it is going to be Rampage against French Frenzies.
That's right. Let's go ahead. Actually, we may be going back to the previous room.
Are we? Okay.
Let's go ahead and see if we can get back in there.
Cool. My apologies.
Yeah,
I did forget that game hadn't gone underway.
So cool that the same codes are still available for those particular lobbies. That's the first time I've ever done that. I like it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I did not know that. In fairness. So we are going into this room. Let's see what can happen.
Yep. Now Hunk the Punk is in there with Inspiral.
Awesome.
The project going up against Casual Dev Hacks. And Armajet and Lucas are ready and available. So whenever we are going into this game, we're just going to go ahead and get it started up. Looks like we are going in. Good man, Imperium.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is going to be Casual Dev Hacks against the Project. What can they do? Can we see a bit of an upset? No! Inspire gets wiped out by Lucas straight away before any fuel cells are being picked up. First 3 going over to Casual Dev Hacks just like that. But Hunk the Punk trying to get in the front line, trying to get those shots out for Lucas. Rejecting on the front line. Gets to take out Hunk the Punk, and that fuel cell has been lost, but being picked up once again by Hunk.
It's so difficult for a Thunderstorm to be able to perform well on Fuel Frenzy. Even it doesn't have the same hitbox as it did in previous patches.
Yeah.
It got nerfed essentially. Lucas going low but rotating back. Hunk the Punk gets cut down by Armajet.
Yeah, and now it's gone off to 7-0 in the favor of Casual Dev Hacks right now. They are really holding on to this mid area. They're not moving away from it, even if they're taking a bit of damage. They're holding on to it. Nice shots coming out from Inspire, but it's not taking out Armajet in time. And actually, I spoke to too. He did get taken out.
He got exploded by that Havoc.
Yeah. But now they've 9 fuel cells, 1 more to go. Yes, they picked up the 10th. 11 fuel cells just for extra comfort, Sean and Steve.
Yeah, and this is so smart. Lucas frontlining with those overshields. He's got 6 fuel cells, but with the overshields there, he can body block a lot of damage. 3 seconds remain.
2, 1.
Yeah, for Armajet from distance on the side note, got an absolute fantastic shot. That is Casual Dev Hacks moving on over to the next round. They have taken out the Project. The Project weren't quite able to handle the front line and the aggressiveness that Casual Dev Hacks had in their arsenal, Sean.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. So not only were they frontlining really well, they were able to have Lucas with those shields protect Armajet on the back line. They had a good loadout. They maintained their distance. They had Black Tusk, Long Claw available to them. The Long Claw, obviously a sniper weapon. If you have fuel cells and you're all the way on the back line with the Long Claw, anybody that rushes you in that lane is going to eat a bullet to the face.
Exactly. That was like I said, Armajet, even from a distance at the very end, was getting those fantastic shots off from a distance. And it was just that balance, that aggressiveness that Casual Dev Hacks had in their team that just got them the better of it. So yeah, well played to them. Unfortunately, as we know, because this is a best of 1, the Project will move out of the tournament, as we will move on to the next game. It was the one that I talked about. Unfortunately, I'd forgotten about the previous game that we just played. Is going to be Rampage against French Frenzies.
Yep, Rampage got themselves Copters. Average guy 777. Copters, somebody who I see often in lobbies when we're fighting out there in the on Moonbase or any other of the matches. Our average guy 777 is a content creator with Armajet, and he's constantly pumping out videos on YouTube. He is someone to be watched out for. I always see him in the top, maybe the top 20 or the top 15, if not the top 10 in the top 100 of Armajet.
Okay.
He's he's a grinder. He's an aggressive player when it comes to Valor. I think he's got a lot of the weapons, if not all of them, unlocked.
But they're going up against Doomslayer and Duck, the team of French Frenzies.
Yeah, that's going to be a little scary right there. So, Duck, I recall, was in the previous tournament. Doomslayer being paired up with Duck is probably a very complementary team because we do have Doomslayer who's a little bit more well-known, a little bit more experienced. Duck had himself probably I would say only one tournament appearance, but unfortunately, I don't think, no, they definitely didn't win the previous tournament that I casted for Armajet. But either way, let's see if Doomslayer can do anything about it. Doomslayer was on, I believe he was on Fire Retail. So he's someone who's experienced, but Fire Retail has never won a tournament here in Armajet.
No, they haven't. Unfortunately, they didn't get to put it together at the time, but these are all individually talented players. We are about to get underway in this game. It is a best of one, so winner will take all, and we'll move on to the next round. 3, 2, 1, go! First attempt, Fuel Cells will take this game. Let's see who can get the better of it, Sean.
Yep, let's see who can do it. Got it.
Right now.
Yep.
Fuel Cells being picked up on the side of Rampage right now. However, up to 3. They did lose a couple of them, but they've been able to pick themselves back as 0. Fuel Cells of the French Frenzies.
Smart moves by Copters, having those shields available to him, frontlining all the damage. Average guy 777 on the back line, healing himself up, maintaining 4 fuel cells in his inventory. Copters going for that last fuel cell. Watch out there. Another one just gets pumped out. Doomslayer getting lit up from the top. Duck trying to go for that fuel cell, but Copters wants it as well. They trade out in bot lane.
Average guy's got to be a little bit careful. He's low in health. He's got 7 fuel cells. Doomslayer trying to protect himself in underneath that wall. Duck has got himself 2. Doomslayer has been taken out. Copters has now rampaged onto Duck. Take them out. That's 9 fuel cells onto the side of Rampage.
10 fuel cells now in tow for Rampage. They've got the countdown timer. Copters throws down that machine gun sentry to provide cover for them. Will they be able to do this? Can they survive?
2, 1.
Oh, they can't make to survive. It's a fantastic machine coming in to give them that extra level of defense. Fair play to French Frenzies. They tried to engage harder onto Rampage at the end to stop that countdown from ticking away, but it didn't work. Rampage move on. French Frenzies will go home.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they will go home, but it was so good for Rampage, the control from them throughout the entire match. Like, and then saving the ultimate for the very end to throw down that sentry was a very, very smart move, because we see so many times in Fuel Frenzy where you get the countdown timer to within 5 seconds, 3 seconds of ending, and you lose all the fuel cells, and that's where you could lose the match too. Because then it's only 15 more seconds for the enemy to be able to close it out.
And you can get tilted by it, Sean. That's the thing. You can get tilted by that. You kind of go, oh my God, we were so close. We lost all cells. There's no point. We can't get back into this. So yeah, very nicely done. And one thing that I noticed about Rampage compared to, let's say, casual dev hacks that we saw in the previous game, Sean, is that Rampage, when they got about 4 or 5 fuel cells from the midway point, they actually backed off a bit more. You know, they actually kind of they were able to kind of slow down a bit back off, not get themselves in a position where they're taking a lot of damage, and it paid off in the long run.
I'm looking at today's matches, Imperium, to switch topics a bit. First Squadron has got themselves 1 win versus below average. Casual, of course, they got themselves the win versus below average. Casual Dev Hacks got themselves the win versus the Project that we saw, which was a complete smashing and very well expected. Alluring Grandmothers, your favorite team, got themselves the win versus El Beard. And Rampage just got the win versus French Frenzies.
Yeah, that's pretty nice set of games right now. I've got to say, like, as expected, in fairness, Sean, the closer we've gotten to kind of the finals, the closer we're getting to these teams, you know, kind of having really close matchups. I still yet to see these kind of two teams have, let's say, 5 cells each, if that makes sense. You know, so I do want to see that kind of level of tight play. But like you said, it's a new game mode. Not all of these players will be experienced with it, so it is still a learning curve.
You're absolutely right. It's that's what's cool about a tournament like this, is that we have such a new game mode for the players to play here in Armajet. And nobody's experienced enough to be able to...
No.
Well, we do have some consistency so far in the pro players who we've seen in previous deathmatch type tournaments are still pulling out the wins here. But having other players as well, like there's a few new players who are in here who are making it to the semifinals right now. First squad is moving on. So is Casual Dev Hacks. These guys, very experienced players on both teams. And we've got themselves, on the other side of the bracket, we've got Alluring Grandmothers, which is, of course, pros as well there. We've got Big King L and Archer UK, people who we've seen from Skyrose. I can't believe I forgot what he was on. He wasn't on G. He was on Skyrose. Archer UK was in Skyrose. And then we've got Big King L teaming up with them. We've got the code available to us, so we'll go ahead and get in there, my good sir.
Oh, I'm in, baby. I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
I'm inside waiting for you, man.
Let's get in there, dude.
Let's get in there, indeed.
Let me get in there. Get in some of that Armajet Fuel Frenzy action.
I was going to respond, but let's keep it PG. And
PG-13, my good sir.
I want to know, First Squadron, Casual Death Axe, 2 fantastic teams. They've gotten to the semi-final. You got First Squadron with LCF and Devoted. You got Casual Death Axe with Lucas and Armajet. I want to know, Sean, who do you think is going to come out on top?
It's going to be a really close one. This one could be pretty much a coin toss, but I feel like Lucas and Armajet are going to potentially pull out the W here.
Yeah.
And it's funny because these are all Hammers members. So having them
Hammers
split up,
against Hammers.
Yeah, it's a Hammers internal civil war we've got.
Does that mean that they know each other's playstyles? Does that mean they know each other's strategies?
I think it's possible. I feel like they know when they're gonna go in or not, and I feel like they know how they rotate around the map. They know what loadouts they're gonna potentially have. So we'll definitely see who is going to pull out the W in this one. But I'm already looking at the loadouts here. We've got Devoted with a Havoc as a potential loadout. We've got Elsif having his Black Tusk. So he's going to be midlining it. Devoted's going to be on the rear supporting. Lucas has himself a Nightfall, it looks like. So the Nightfall is one of those weapons that we're actually getting into the game right now. We're getting started. Nightfall is one of those weapons that can be very defensive, very useful here in Field Frenzy, and we are in. Let's begin, good sir.
Yes, as we will see once again, Armajet going straight in on the front line, getting insane damage on the LCF as Lucas in the background picks up 2 cells straight away. Have a great rocket launches going in onto the members of Casual Death Axe, but all the same, 3 cells going over to the...
Yeah, see, the Nightfall right there is sticking onto its enemy targets, and it provides such great cover for you. It's a one-shot, one kill. You get one of those arrows onto you, there's no way you're coming back from that.
Oh yeah, now not quite connecting. Great play by Armajet, getting in the front line very effectively. One cell has been picked up by First Squadron. It's a start, but they need to follow that up. They need to be aware. Elsiv is doing his best to survive against both Armajet, but he does get taken out. However, on a side note, all those cells were dropped as Devoted took out Lucas.
He did. Lucas is so low. He's in danger right now, a sliver of health, but he did pick up all of those fuel cells again. And now we have DevX maintaining all of those fuel cells, and it's a jackpot death there in mid lane.
Now we do see the 11 cells, just to be extra safe, has been secured on the side of Casual DevX. Lucas is backing off. Armajet is doing his best to stay in the front line. Soak up all that damage. We are down to 2 seconds, 1 second, 0. The round is over. And confidently, Casual DevX move on to the final.
Whoa, did I call it or did I call it? Casual DevX gets the win right there. And it was all the Nightfall. Like, I saw it happening over and over again. But it's really just, it felt like to me like they really prioritized. Lucas and Armajet really prioritized where to go, how to rotate to get the fuel cells that were dropped there in bot lane. Very, very important. And just they've stayed pretty consistent the whole game. Good for them.
Honestly, I really cannot get over the aggressive play that Armajet pulls out. Kima is just, like you saw right from the start, he jumped at the top and was full on in the face of First Squadron. And when you're a team that's not used to that, it can be a little bit kind of intimidating. And it works because Armajet is bang on with his aim, he's bang on with his shots, and it really helps to pay off. So I think that was a big part of why Casual DevX securely took that game in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't see any ultimates used during that particular match.
There was one at the end.
What?
There was one at the end to secure the 15 cells.
Okay, what was the ultimate?
It was the machine gun.
Oh, it was a machine gun sentry.
Yeah, it was machine gun sentry. It was used at like the very end, and it essentially helped Casual DevX to secure that win with the 15 cells.
Well, with that, if we look at the brackets here before we move on to the next match, we do have. Looks like we do have brackets are not quite updated yet, but we will be seeing First Squadron moving forward. Yes, no, sorry, First Squadron drops into the third place possible match there, so they could potentially get themselves third place. No money for third place though, but you get bragging rights. And we will be
better than kick in the face.
But Casual DevX will be going into the finals.
Yeah.
And whoever wins between Alluring Grandmothers and Rampage will be going up against Casual DevX. There we go. It's updated now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, admin.
Thank you so much to the guys in the background doing all of the work. MGL being fantastic guys helping out to organize this very first Armajet Fuel Frenzy tournament. It's a $50 prize pool, but it only goes to the first place team. I know you might be thinking, feels bad for second place team, but in the words of Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last, Sean Asino.
It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. In this case, it doesn't matter if you win with one fuel cell up. It's winning, man. That's how you do it here. It doesn't matter if you got annihilated the entire game and got so many deaths on you. If you grab those fuel cells at the end and you stay alive for 15 seconds, you can win yourself the game.
That is very true. We're about to get into this game. Before we quickly get in, Sean Estino, Alluring Grandmothers, Rampage, who do you think is going to come out on top?
Alluring Grandmothers all the way. I love those chicks.
Okay, well, let's see what can happen as Big King L and Archer do get a good start on the side of Alluring Grandmothers with 3 cells straight away. What is the loadouts looking out for these two teams, Sean Estino?
We've got the Venom there. Average guy 777 on Rampage has got himself those poison ball shots. Trying to maintain some distance, though, because he was going pretty low there. We've got the Thunderstorm held by Archer. Big King L has got himself a Black Tusk. Very smart loadout there for those guys.
Oh, great shot by Average Guy 777. And the shots coming out from Copter to take out Archer. That's all those fuel cells dropped. This is the close game we've had so far, Sean Estino. It's 4 cells to 3 on the side of Rampage.
It sure is, and it looks like we do have Alluring Grandmothers grabbing themselves another cell there. 5-3 right now for their cells. Incendiary Grenade comes down onto the mid platform. A little bit of AoE control. Copters going down very low. He rotates back and away with some shielding. Fuel cells dropped. Average guy gets taken down.
Feels bad, man, right now, and all the way, just like that, Rampage get to 11 fuel cells. We are, sorry, Alluring Grandma's, my apologies, up to 11 fuel cells. They're on the countdown. 8, 7, 6, 5, and with that machine gun sentry there, it's really hard for Rampage to get past that. And Alluring Grandmothers take the win. Overall, quite confident that they move on to the final.
They move on to the finals indeed. And right there at the very end, you could tell the kind of control that Big King L and Archer ended up having. They both had themselves a killing spree. And geez, Imperium, are you breathing inside of a spacesuit right there? Because I can hear you.
Honestly, that was so close, Sean. Like really, when we were looking at like it being 5 cells each or 5 cells to 4, I was like, okay, we're in for a doozy. We're in for a damn close game. And then that shot on to Archer, he lost all his cells, and from there, it became all about Rampage keeping control of that game.
Well, the Alluring Grandmothers they kept control, and they were the ones that
sorry.
You're mixing up your favorite team, Imperium.
I'm sorry, man. That game was so exciting. I make mistakes. Leave me alone, Sean. Okay.
No, but it was a really good match. That was the closest one, and I could potentially see a lot of volleys between the teams in these high level type matches. So if we do have teams that hold cells and they hold equal amounts of cells, then somebody drops them when it gets a late game. They go back and forth, constantly killing and dropping the fuel cells over and over again. That would be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, it is. Now, we are going to pull out something pretty exciting for you guys. Normally, the 3rd, 4th place matchup wasn't going to be streamed. It was going to be played offline. But because we're ahead of time, because we're an efficient bunch of beautiful people, we're going to be bringing you the 3rd, 4th place matchup, which is going to be First Squadron against Rampage, Sean.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good one, actually. So, First Squadron and Rampage, they're going to get bragging rights if they get 3rd place, that bronze medal here. And we will see later on Alluring Grandmothers going up against Casual Dev Hacks. So let's go ahead and see if we can... we don't have a code yet for this match, do we?
No, we do not, Sean Ostino. Not quite yet. We are waiting for that information to come in. So while we are waiting...
Let's talk about...
I want to know.
Let's talk... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I want to know, like,
who
do you think is going to come out on top?
Man, Casual Dev Hacks and First Squadron. This is, or Alluring Grandmothers, actually, sorry. So these two, this is a real big coin flip right here. It could go the way of Two-Face. It could go Casual Dev Hacks, could go Alluring Grandmothers. I really can't say who it's going to be. This is a really tough call for me.
Personally, based on what we've seen, I have to give it over to Casual Dev Hacks just simply because of Armajet's aggressiveness on the field, on the bases. It was just like it blows my mind how he's just so aggressively confident when he gets out there, being in that front line, helping to give Lucas that level of room and breathing space to pick up those cells. And then, in fairness, Lucas, in his own right, is being absolutely fantastic in his positioning, in his shooting, to help support Armajet in the front line.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. When he is able to protect Armajet from the enemies coming in, we're trying to steal those fuel cells away. That's where Casual Dev Hacks is going to be able to excel. And
yeah, exactly.
Alluring Grandmothers, though, they've got themselves a lot of experience under their belts. So seeing Big King L, seeing Archer UK, being able to... Archer UK has won himself multiple tournaments. Big King L, they won the very first Armajet tournament that I cast. So these guys are nobody to sleep on either.
They are not. They do have a lot of overall experience, but do they have the balls to take it? Do they have
they got the fuel cells?
Have they got the fuel cells to take that to Casual Death Hacks? Because that's what I'm talking about. Like, the reason why I mention Armajet's aggressiveness is because it when you are aggressive, you not only gain control of the game and control of the map, Sean Estino, you suppress the enemy team. You become very oppressive to them, and to a certain extent, they don't necessarily know how to react to that. Now, if Alluring grandmothers know how to react to that level of aggression and they can essentially work around that, then yes, 100%, I really feel that they could push Casual Death Hacks a long way and even take the wins in the best of 3 series. Of course, we'll be finding out sooner rather than later. But until then, we do have the 3rd, 4th place matchup.
We have the 3rd place matchup right here. This is for that bronze medal. Devoted and Elsef over there in First Squadron, representing Canada. And we've got Copters and Average Guy 777 on the other side. Rampage. So it's been a journey for them to get here. They were doing so well, but we saw each of these teams lose to the respective teams going into the finals, Casual Death Hacks and Alluring Grandmothers. We're getting started. We're getting into the match. Let's go ahead and give it a go, good Imperium.
Yes, the Fuel Frenzy is about to begin right now between these two teams. Let's see who's gonna come out on top. Copter's taking a chunk of damage straight away, but does pick up the first 2 fuel cells for himself and his team. However, LCF on the front line does take out Copters from a distance. He's gonna be able to pick up those 2 cells straight away. Copters respawning. Devoted has got that shield. So is LCF, so they got a lot of protection. They got 4 cells between them, but we do see Copters being very aggressive alongside his Average Guy teammate. They've got split north and south, trying to sandwich this team with 4 fuel cells. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Both teams are actually playing very well, Sean.
They are, and we've seen a lot of fuel cells change hands here. Now Rampage has got all 4 of the cells, but we did just see them drop them in bot lane. And now both of them are dead, but all the fuel cells belong to Alluring Grandmothers. Or sorry, did I say Alluring Grandmothers? I meant First Squadron.
You did indeed.
Now I'm getting so mixed up.
Exactly, I'm not the only one that makes mistakes. Excuse me very much, Kappa. I do make Jonathan cough.
You're making me die over
laughing. Hey, look, right now we're going to see this fantastic team looking to really come out on top. 7-second countdown. They've got 10 against 1, but they are being put under pressure, Sean.
Oh, they just lost them! They just lost all their fuel cells! Now they all belong to Rampage. First Squadron pinned into a corner. Couldn't do anything about it. All the venom damage.
This is what happens, but they've been dropped them. It's gone down to 7 and 5. This is getting so close. There's no time limit, Sean. This game could go on forever. It's so close. However, 8 cells have now been secured by First Squadron. However, 5 on the side of Rampage, so it's not over yet. Now they've picked up one themselves, 9 and 6. These 2 teams, Sean. Let's see who's going to come out on top. But you got to give credit. They're both picking up cell by cell, trying to be very careful on who is securing the kills and securing those cells.
Devoted just got killed by that Havoc from Copters. Unfortunately, he didn't have any of the cells. Elsif has got all the cells. And now we've got both the teams having 9 cells apiece. Average Guy 777 has got 3 of them, 6 for Copters. Elsif is trying to get in there. He's got himself the 10. He's rotating back. He's on a sliver of health. He needs to get that health. He's got it. Copters is down. Copters is down. 16 cells belong to First Squadron.
Rampage choking in the final moments of First Squadron take this lead and will finish in 3rd place on bragging rights. But man, Sean, that was the closest game we've had in this tournament. I didn't know who was going to take it.
What an amazing 3rd place match. I feel like I feel like that was the match of the day for me. Like I am expecting so much now out of Casual Death Hacks and Alluring Grandmothers to be able to top that match, because that was amazing. We had them in the corner. First Squadron was about to finish, and then we have Rampage come in and steal away all the fuel cells. That has not happened so far. This is a key moment here in Fuel Frenzy history. The first match with a crazy volley like that.
Yeah, it was so close because, see, the issue that First Squadron had about midway through the game, when it became very even, the issue that First Squadron had was that all of those fuel cells was on LCF. So he was really heavily in the back line, Sean. So what that allowed was that actually allowed Rampage to have a bit more movement in the center of the map. So they were picking up every single fuel cell that was spawning up. So that suddenly meant that just like that, Rampage had gotten up to 9 fuel cells themselves. It was then that First Squadron realized that they actually had to gain control of this game, and that's when they started being a bit more aggressive. It could have gone against them, but we did see Rampage kind of choke a little bit. They lost one set of cells, then they lost the other, and it was just boom, game over from that. Still so close between these teams.
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing matchup there. We will have Casual Dev Hacks and Alluring Grandmothers coming up next, but congratulations to First Squadron for pulling out the W right there, because that was such a crazy close match, and I want to see. That's exactly what we were talking about, right before this game started. Is that we've got to have crazy volleys like this in Fuel Frenzy, and that's a great potential of this game, because you can scream, you can get excited if you're playing out there with your friends, playing Armajet. Fuel Frenzy, it can be amazing times out there going back and forth.
Yeah, like Sean, do you know the Ukrainian for hospital? Because I feel like I might need one after that game, because jeez, my heart is racing like it. Whew.
Your heart is palpitating.
Jesus. Man, like honestly, that is something, and this is what I do love about these games, because they are so non-stop, but in a really exciting, fun, competitive way that you just can't help but have a smile on your face afterwards.
We've got the code for the matchup for our finals, so if you can go ahead and grab that code, get yourself into the game. Good Imperium.
I need a break, man. I'm telling you, I need
5-minute break, everybody. No, hell no. We don't need no breaks. We don't got no breaks. This is what we're doing here. We're going into the finals. Alluring Grandmothers versus Casual Dev Hacks. Lucas, Armajet on one team. Casual Dev Hacks. Alluring Mothers, Big King L, Archer UK. This is the epitome of Fuel Frenzy action here. These are all pro stars. These are everybody who's been in Armajet, making their mark on Fuel Frenzy history here with MGL, powered by Mogul.
And not only is this the tippity top of the mountain when it comes to Fuel Frenzy action for now, it is the best of 3, Sean Ostino. We are going to see these teams have to crawl, fight, fuel up as much as possible to get the wins.
Winner take all here. That $50 is going to go to the winner of the finals here. Someone between these two teams, Casual Dev Hacks, Alluring Grandmothers. I feel like Alluring Grandmothers, I feel like they're hungrier here. Like Armajet, Kima, he kicks butt on a daily basis. So does everybody else. But it's been a while since Big King L has got himself a W in a tournament. I feel like he's hungry. He's hungry for this.
Okay.
He needs it.
Okay, so he needs it, but is he gonna get it? There's only so far you're gonna get from needing something. You gotta have the ability, you gotta have the talent, you gotta have the drive, but you've also gotta have the synergy with your teammates, honestly, So do you think Archer UK and Big King L as a pairing have that synergy to take down Casual Dev Hacks?
I feel like I want them to. This is definitely going to be the story for Big King L here. He's got a Black Tusk in his equipped weapons. We do have a Thunderstorm being used by Archer that we will see later on, and it's a potential weapon he could use in his loadout. So that's the thing that worries me a little bit, is that the Thunderstorm is not what it used to be. So I feel like if he does go in with the Thunderstorm, front line's a lot of damage, he's got to have shields. If he doesn't have shields, he's not going to be able to do very much with that TS.
1.
Oh, well, let's see, because we are getting into this game 1 in the Moon map. Straight up, Armajet being effective, but Big King L wipes him out. That's it. Armajet shut down. Is he going to have to be careful? First 2 cells have gone over to Casual DevHax, though. One has now been picked up by the side of Alluring Grannies. 2-all in this first game. A little bit more passive play between these teams. However, Armajet goes in hard. He takes out one member, and he is going to be able to pick up a few cells. 3 cells to 0. Being able to pick up those 2. King L responds and takes 1 or 2 cells for himself, Sean.
Lucas has 4 cells just on him. He does have the shielding available to him. Big King L could go in there and he could take it away, but no one's focusing down Lucas right now. Armajet loses 1 of his fuel cells, and now Lucas picks up more. Lucas drops all 6 cells! All 6!
Okay, Archer, can you take down Armajet? Yes, he nearly does. Oh, from a distance, but now Lucas is being able to pick up a couple of those cells, but the amount that they dropped meant that it has allowed Alluring Grandmas to get back into this game. 6-2 in the favor of Casual DevHax, but now they're starting to lose control, Sean Astino.
They are losing control. We've had a lot of fuel cells drop now, but Lucas still has 11. He just picked up 2 more. Oh my god! All of them are dropped! Armajet's picking them up. Lucas, they're on the right side of the map for this. They're grabbing them. They've got shields as well, but Armajet has lost cells as well.
I can't help but feel that Alluring Grandmothers are holding on to the skin of their teeth, because every time they lose a life, every time they take a member of Casual DevHax out, they do slightly fall apart. However, they're climbing back into it 9-6. And we do see that Big King L is being taken down, and they lose all their cells. 13 now in the favor of Casual DevHax, but we still have this countdown, Sean.
The thunderstorm action is alive. It is active. 6 seconds remain. Lucas, he's got that ultimate available. The super shields. Can he stay alive? He does. And Armajet and Lucas, Casual DevHax, take the first win in this series in this best of 3. What an amazing battle here on Moon.
Oh my god, Sean, that was so close. Even right at the end, when that machine gun sentry was laid out by Alluring Grandmothers, I thought that was going to help get the kill on Casual DevHax on Armajet, but he managed to get away just in time as a counter went down, and the first game has been secured by Casual DevHax.
Yeah, they sure got it. And what really made the big impact there right at the end was we saw that Lucas held on to his ultimate until the very end, and that's where survival is absolutely key, because if you're able to stay alive, the longer you stay alive with the fuel cells, the more success you're going to have, obviously. And when it comes to holding 10 or more fuel cells with the super shields on, you are going to survive for a very long time, as long as you're not focused down by high DPS weapons.
Exactly. That is very true, Sean. I gotta give credit to Alluring Grandmothers, though, in fairness, because we saw Armajet be really aggressive at the start, and Big King L literally shut him down, got him, and just shot him right in the face and said, no, you want to be aggressive? I'm going to take you down. And that actually forced Armajet and the rest of Casual DevHax to play a different kind of playstyle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm just telling everybody that we're ready.
Well, let's see. We are into this game too. It is going to be the Canyon map. It's going to be different. Let's see what kind of playstyles we're going to see. We're going to see first 2 cells popping up. Let's see who's going to come out on top straight away. Armajet goes for those first 2 cells, looking to wipe down Archer. That's going to stick. Great shot coming out from Lucas.
That Nightfall is absolutely deadly when it comes to landing it. You land that thing, they have no shields, they have no protection, they're dead.
However, on a side note, they did pick up 3 of those cells, but they lost it. They got taken out. We did see Big King L taken out. Now 5 cells in the favor of Casual DevHax. We are getting close, halfway towards the 10 before the countdown comes down. Another cell being taken out due to Archer being wiped out by Armajet. It feels like Alluring Grandmothers are not able to stick together too much, as right now Casual DevHax are just gradually upping the ante with the amount of cells, but they get taken out.
They have dropped all the cells, and all cells belong to Alluring grandmothers now. Casual dev hacks are surviving. They're doing the smart plays right now, rotating to the right side of the map.
Okay, but they've got to be, they're going to back themselves into a corner if they're not careful, and they have done so. 5 cells have been kept. Big King L, he does wipe out Lucas, but Lucas takes out Big King L. This is so close between these two teams. Who is going to really come out on top? Sean, 8-1, back over in the favor of Casual Dev Hacks.
Yeah, Nightfalls are being shot at. Double Thunderstorm takes down Armajet. He can't do anything about it. Lucas dies as well to a Marauder shot. All the fuel cells have spilled all over the left side of the map.
Oh, Arthur with that machine gun, Sentry in the corner is able to help him a little bit. However, they lost the cells. They got taken out. It's 8 in the favor of Casual Dev Hacks. Closer and closer. They're on the countdown. 10 cells. Can they do anything? Can Alluring grandmothers just allure them to their death?
I don't think they can do this. They've got 3 seconds left.
3, 2,
That's it.
1. Round
Armajet and
no.
Lucas, they've got the win. It's all Casual Dev Hacks all day long. They get themselves the win in the series. They get themselves the championship there. And it's all Casual Dev Hacks, baby. They win themselves the first ever Fuel Frenzy 2v2 tournament here with MGL, powered by Mogul.
It was so close all the same. You cannot give anything but credit to Alluring grandmothers, Sean. They pushed Casual Dev Hacks quite hard. They got a lot of those cells. They took down Lucas and Armajet on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, the issue they did and the mistake they kind of made was when they did grab hold of those 9 fuel cells, I believe it was 9, Sean, they backed themselves into a corner. And it's okay to play defensive, but you don't back yourself into a corner as a team because you end up having nowhere to go and you're only going to chunk down that damage as a 2-man team. And as we saw, they lost their fuel cells.
They did. There were so many fuel cells that were just spilled out all over the western side of the map there, and it was really tough. You know, it's really tough to to have varying and different loadouts when you come into this, because you want to throw your opponent off. There's not necessarily an exact meta for Fuel Frenzy when it comes to having having the best weapons to fight against your opponents, to keep the area of effect damage going, to control the objectives, which are the fuel cells. But we did see a lot of them being used, and I was surprised that in this particular series, it was very important to actually have a thunderstorm, because it feels like it's not necessarily as OP as it used to be, but it is a weapon that's very effective at close combat versus other weapons. Casual Dev Hacks gets themselves the finals, the win here, that they are champions, winner take all. That $50 belongs to them here in the 2v2 Fuel Frenzy extravaganza from MGL.
Yeah, of course. It was a fantastic set of games from themselves. They were dominant in every matchup until then. However, so were Alluring grandmothers. They were really confidently playing in all the games that they played. Even in the grand final, to be honest, they looked overall very confident. We saw them shut down Armajet in the first game. We saw them be counter-aggressive in their own play. Synergy didn't pay off. Nothing against them, but it just didn't look as synergistic in terms of supporting each other and going in on those engagements. But they totally deserve to get that second place. They totally deserve to be in that grand final and push Casual Dev Hacks to the limit.
So today's winners, we had in third place for that bronze match, first Squadron ended up getting themselves the bronze. Silver goes to Alluring grandmothers for their outstanding elderly play out there with those havoc shots and the experience from the back line. And lastly, the winners, Casual Dev Hacks, Armajet and Lucas getting themselves that $50 for their the first place gold medal win here in the tournament. And I wanted to say thank you so much, everybody. Thanks to MGL for all the production here. Thanks to Mogul for powering the tournament and providing an excellent platform for us to set up everything with the brackets and all the players and organize the tournament. And thanks to our backline dude, our dude behind the scenes, It's Legit Mike, for helping to do everything and control all the stuff on the back end. And Imperium, thanks to you, good sir. Where can everybody find you on your social medias?
You can find me at EVT_Imperium on Twitter for all the beautiful meme-tastic tweets that you will see. But also, in fairness, I do my best to interact with people. Feel free to give me a follow. Hit me up if you have any questions. You can also add me on Discord at Imperium #1972. Always here to have a laugh with people and get involved however way I can.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, good sir. I just showed the matches. The matches they were just up. I just wanted to review them really quickly with everybody. Yeah, and that final matchup, we'll just talk about that one. Casual Dev Hacks got themselves a 2-0 over Alluring Grandmothers there in the finals. And what an amazing day here. You guys can follow me, Sean Austino, SeanaUstino, on all social media. Best place to find me is my website, seanaustino.com. And you guys can find all my socials and platforms I stream on from there. Until next time, guys, thanks to everybody for being here with us on a beautiful Saturday morning here from San Francisco, California. And we'll see you guys on the next, potentially the next 2v2 Fuel Frenzy tournament from MGL. Till then, take care, everybody, and have a good rest of your weekend.